Hi everybody, and welcome to this reintroduction of ScriptBinder. I wanted to do this video because it's been about a year since ScriptBinder's come out, and in that time we've been taking a lot of feedback from a lot of users. We've learned a lot about what people need, and we've updated the product accordingly. I wanted to reintroduce the product and also demonstrate a very exciting new tool within the product, so let's dive straight in. For those who've been using ScriptBinder came about as I was preparing for a remote show. And in doing so, I realized there was a lot of great solutions for remotely connecting to an Avid, but as an assistant editor, I didn't have a very good solution for preparing a line script for my editor. I was looking into a variety of solutions, using preview, having two windows so that I could scroll and have my facing pages and my line pages at once, and I found in general that the solutions I was coming up with were very labor intensive and not very elegant looking. So that was when I turned to FileMaker Pro and I built this product here, ScriptBinder. And what you're looking at here is the main layout. This is what I call binder view. You can see this is a very familiar layout. Looks just like a normal ScriptBinder. You have your facing pages on the left, you have your line pages on the right, and as I flip along here using these arrow buttons, you can see this turns blue to call your attention to the fact that there are multiple facing pages here, so I can pull this scroll bar down. I have 2 pages of facing page for this page 2. If you're an editor who likes to jot down notes, in the margins of the script, I've given you this handy dandy little notepad. Page 3 notes. And you can close it. And what's nice is, as a way to make it obvious to you, I don't want to take up screen real estate, so if you have notes on this page, it turns yellow. So it's easy to know if you have something that's important. Let's close that. If you need to jump to a different page, you're on page 3, but you want to quickly go to page 10, you can click that button to jump. And because most editors have scene tabs so they can jump to scenes quickly in their script, you can do the same. You can click here on scene, and I want to go to scene 22, which is on page 16. This will take care of that for you. It's just like having tabs. Once your assistant editor sets up your binder for you, from the editor's standpoint, this should be just like having your ScriptBinder. The only difference is it's digital. Now, one thing is, in order to preserve screen real estate, for example, if this view is just too large for your laptop, if you have emails visible and other things you need at one time, if I click on facing pages over here in this navigation bar, you can see the window will automatically resize. By default, this is always going to take the least amount of space possible to preserve screen real estate. Now, I can drag this out if I want it to take more space, but every time you hit one of these, for example, if you only want the line script at one time, it's going to expand and contract as it needs. So you can see only facing pages visible, only line script visible. If I want the full binder view, everything's visible at once. Now, keeping in line with a physical script binder, there's a place for you to store your edit logs. So as you're working day to day, your assistant editor can enter these. And you have the option to keep track of shoot day, shoot date, if you have multiple units, first unit, second unit, VFX unit, and this is flexible. You can add in something here. For example, if you have a different type of unit, if you're working on a big VFX volume shoot, you wanted to note volume unit, you could do that as well. But the defaults built in are first, second, and VFX, and you can change those to anything you want. And since you'll typically have multiple pages of edit logs per day, you have page numbers, so we're just flipping along. In this example, it's just one day. That's just how these were delivered to me. Daily production reports. I don't have any example data here, but you can see you can categorize it same shoot day, shoot date, unit, and page. Camera reports, unfortunately, I also don't have an example, but the same principle applies. You have shoot day, you have shoot date, you have unit, and you have camera roll. Now, I want to take the time to show you how you actually populate one of these databases, because it's pretty easy. All of the importing is going to be done on this PDF import section. This is the assistant editors section. This is where you're really going to dive under the hood and populate all of the pages. In principle, all these layouts is another way of representing the pages that you'll be bringing in to PDF import. Now, it keeps a running tab down here on creation date, and the reason for this is as you get new pages in each day, sometimes you're going to get duplicates of each page, and you don't want to show those duplicates. So you can simply look for duplicate pages and delete them by whichever one's new. And I'm going to simulate a duplicate right now. If I hit Command D, you see this page dupe comes up. And so this is telling me there's two different pages here. I have a line script page, page 1, that's duplicated. And typically you'd want to delete the old one because a new one has come in. But I'm actually going to delete this dupe because this was just to simulate that experience. But again, as new pages come in, you're going to get a new page 1 that's going to have more lines because more takes for that scene have been shot. And this is a quick way to let you know you already received that page. You can keep what you need and populate as you go. So in the PDF import section, you have the options to note facing page, line script, page number. Now page sort, this is an important category, and in general, it probably will be fairly seldom used. Page sort is there because FileMaker wants to sort by numbers only. So every now and then you might get a page that happens in between two pages. For example, you have page 2, you have page 3. But then through the course of rewrites, a new page has come in, which is going to be page A3, which goes in between 2 and 3. Now, you can denote a page here as A2, but that's going to cause sorting problems for FileMaker. So you would enter, if you wanted this to go in between page 1 and page 2, you would enter page sort as 2.1. That way, you can call this page A2, and it's going to show up in binder view as page A2, so that the editor is looking at the pages as they are labeled. But in order to accommodate FileMaker and how it's going to want to sort, we do this to keep both your editor happy and FileMaker happy. That way everything sorts properly. Down here, you can enter scenes. And when you enter scenes, you only want to enter a scene on the first page a scene appears on. You want to think of it as scene tabs. So if you have a tab for scene 2, but if scene 2 happens across several pages, you don't put a tab on every single page. You only put a tab on the first page that scene 2 shows up on. And I usually do it based on the line script pages. It doesn't matter whether you do it to the facing pages or the line script because the numbers will follow. And I'll show you that when I demonstrate populating this. For now, I just want to show you what everything is. And lastly, this is diving a little under the hood of FileMaker, but since scenes is a portal because you can have multiple scenes per page, PDF scenes is simply a visual representation of that. And this also gives you the option, if you have a scene that is inserted out of order, you can have scene 2, or you could have scene 2A, and then you could enter scene sort as 2.1 or whatnot. It just allows you to sort pages as you need. So just to show you how simple this is, why don't we start with a blank database, and I will open a database right here. Let's go to empty demo. And here we have a completely empty database, and we're going to do this from scratch manually. And so we're going to start here in PDF import. Now, it's worth noting you're going to be getting PDF pages from your script supervisor on a daily basis, and sometimes they'll give you one PDF that has all of your pages embedded. So it might be one PDF file that has 10 pages. You're going to have to break those out. I couldn't find a way around that. However, I use a program called PDF Genius. It's available in the Apple App Store, and it'll help you split out these PDFs. It's well worth the investment. So I'm going to go to a folder where I have all of my PDFs. This is an important checkbox. Uncheck this. do not import a reference or you will have problems. So I'm going to point to my folder, and here are my line script pages. Everything's split out, one per page. Here we are. And I'm going to import. And I'm going to take the image here. Image is going to be imported. And I want to import this into the PDF title. And that's it. Just bring the PDF image into the PDF field. And I do want to perform auto enter options. That's what's going to help me populate the date. So I'm going to hit import. And everything has come in. And I have 43 new pages. So let's just go through this. This is a line script. And it's page 13, and I can see here that scene 15 starts here, as does scene 16. Under that, I'll move right along. This is a facing page for page 11, and it's facing page number 1. So you'll notice you have FP number, facing page number. It only appears when you denote a page as a facing page, and again, fortunately, these pages tell me this is the page number and this is the facing page number. Yours won't always do this, but it's important to note if you don't know, if you're unsure, you can change the numbers and that'll allow you to change the sort order of these pages. So we have a line script, we have page 11, and I can see that page scene 12 starts here. Moving right along, we have facing page 14, and we have facing page number 1. And then we have line script page 7, and it looks like scene 7 starts here. Moving right along. We have line script page 10, scene 11 starts here. Moving right along. Facing page 13, and it looks like this is actually facing page 2. You can see 15 and 16 automatically populated because I've previously noted that this page had scene 15 and 16. So we're doing well. Let's move to facing page 13, facing page 1, enter. So that was not terrible. Now let's go to our binder view, and I'm going to hit sort so that everything sorts. You can see here unsorted. I'm going to hit sort. And then I'm going to jump to page 1. And here we go. Moving right along, you can see this turned blue because I have multiple pages here. So it was about 43 pages total. 43 when factoring the facing pages and the line script. Not bad. And of course, like all things, it's a process. Once you get into the rhythm of it, it makes more sense. It's far easier to follow. Now, for those of you who have been using ScriptBinder for a while, I want to show you something. Oh, in fact, let's put a pin in that thought for a moment. There's one more thing I can demonstrate, and that is edit logs. Since I have edit log data here, I'm going to import, same as before. Do not import a reference. References are bad. Let's go to our edit logs. Again, this is a batch of edit logs that has come in. And just as before, I'm going to import this to the PDF field. It's that simple. Let's go to the cover page here. So, I don't actually know the date on this, so I'm going to call this today's date. And I'm going to say first unit. And so this, I can hit Command =, copy that across all records, since all of these import records are the same. And we can just label the pages. So we have page 1, page 2, 3. And then you can see they kind of imported out of order. That's fine. Page 7. Page 6, page 4, page 5, and let's hit the sort button, And everything's sorted in order. Here we are, page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6, page 7. And since you have the page numbers here and the units, the dates, you can search through these if you're looking for something on a particular shoot date. The same applies to your production reports, to your camera reports. You can import those on a daily basis. Unfortunately, I didn't have sample data for those, but the same principle would apply. You would need to break out your camera reports if sometimes they like to scan 2 camera reports side by side in one PDF. You will have to break those out if you want to be able to categorize them individually. And the same thing would go for your daily production reports. You'd have to break them out if there are multiple pages and import 1 per. But for those who've been using Script Binder, one thing that'll happen is over time, I'll be alerted to bugs and other problems, perhaps a feature request. And when that happens, you have your old database and you need to move all of your data into the new one. And so data migration has always been fairly simple, but I want to show you a new product in the current version 1.9.8, which is the migration tool. And this tool is going to make your life a little easier if you need to import data. So this is another blank database that I made solely for the purpose of demonstrating this migration method. So in a nutshell, in order to import everything from your prior database, you need to go through each one of these tabs: Binder View, PDF Import, PDF Scenes, Camera Reports, Edit Logs, Production Reports, and import the old tables from the old database into your current one to take advantage of these features. It's not actually that hard to do it manually, but since I was able to build a more straightforward, streamlined system to do it, why not be fast? Especially if you're working, and as per most shows, it's going to be very stressful. You're going to be under very strict timelines, and you caught a bug because I overlooked something, which happens, and I fixed it, but now you need to get all that data out into this new version. So we're going to hit this button, and I'm going to close this in the background so that there's nothing distracting us. Here we are, migrate. I'm going to hit this migrate button, and it's going to say, this tool will help you migrate data from a previous version of Script Binder to this version. Would you like to proceed? Yes. Now, we want to go to the populated version of your database. This is your old version. And I'm going to hit Insert. And it's going to say, please select PDF View on the source side of the import window. Hit OK. And here comes my PDF import window. And I'm going to hit PDF View. Now, by default, matching names is the method that everything is going to copy over, and that's exactly what you want. So I'm going to hit Import. 19 records came over. OK. Then it's going to say, please select PDF Import on the source side of the import window. It's going to do it again. PDF Import. And let's bring that over. And 43 records came over. Please select PDF Scenes on the source side of the import window. Change that to PDF Scenes. So you can see it's walking you through the process. You don't want to do this too fast. You want to take it slow and make sure you're reading the directions. Please select Edit Logs on the source side of the import window. And Edit Logs. Okay. Please select Daily Production Reports on the source side of the import window. Okay. Daily Production Reports. And if you ever lose track of what it just told you to bring over, you're matching these names. Daily Production Report. You're bringing in the daily production reports from your old database. This is what you've been doing to collect all the data, and you're moving it into the new version of the database, which has new features and bug fixes. Import. And lastly, please select Camera Reports on the source side of the import window. Camera Reports. Matching names and import. And here we are. Data migration is complete. So we can sort that. We can go to Binder View. We can sort that. And we are good to go. All of our scenes are in, and we can jump around as we see fit. You've migrated all of your data. That's the migration tool in the newest version of ScriptBinder, version 1.9.8, and that is ScriptBinder. It's our current version. It's been around for about a year. It's being used on several major motion pictures. It's been used on a variety of scripted television programs, and it's available for you at mastertheworkflow.com. Thank you for your time. I'm Richard Sanchez.